Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing a quick video as a conclusion to the rust prevention sprays. We've got a clear winner after 2 months out in the salty air down here on the south coast. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll give you the details on how you might have an opportunity to win one of the cans of the winning spray, which I hope people find useful. Okay, I have also got the Transit up on the drive at the moment. There she is. And I've also finally got the bearings out of the MZ crankcases, so hopefully also before the end of the month we'll have a full rebuild on the MZ engine, finally, after many months having an update on that. Anyway, let's start looking at these rust prevention sprays and see who the winner is. Let's take a look. Okay guys, well thanks for joining us once again, as I say. So to get straight into it, let's have a look at them all, and I'll give them to you in what I consider to be like a reverse order, if you like. So the worst ones, and then we'll work up to the one that I see as the clear winner. Okay, so the first, and I've grouped them in a group of 3, but let's start off with them in order. I've got them on the page here. So WD-40, Scottoiler's FS 365 and the GT85 I've kind of grouped together in 8th place rather. So this is the result for the WD-40, but it's much the same as we'll see in a moment for the FS 365 and the GT85. They're all 3 of them very thin oils as they go on, and so it was no great surprise really that they were the first 3 to show us failing. Now the WD-40 doesn't pretend to be a rust prevention treatment. It's one of those that stops squeaks and drives out moisture, as we all know. It's not really a lubricant as such, so there's no great surprise there that was one of the worst performing of the 8 products I tested. Looking at the Scottoiler, the FS 365, it's a bit of an unusual one this, because it's very watery, as anyone will know who's used it, and unlike most of the others, Scottoiler does say to basically to reapply it very frequently, but honestly I found it so poorly performing that I really can't recommend it. It says it leaves no sticky residue. Well, that's mainly because it washes off before it can leave any sticky residue in my view. So yeah, I didn't find that one was one that I could recommend either rather, and I think the results of the piece of metal speak for themselves. The GT85 I was a little bit disappointed about, because it came well recommended, but I have to say I think it's probably a very good alternative for WD-40 if you're looking for something that lubricates, gets inside things, and as it says on the can, it's got PTFE in it as well. So it's probably just the wrong product if you're looking for a rust prevention spray. And if you use it and you use it regularly and wipe on wipe off almost on a weekly basis, then sure, it will probably work well. But for spraying on once and leaving it over the winter, this is not the product really to be using, I don't think. So those 3 I've kind of grouped together in a kind of a joint 8th place. Now the next one I think is a big surprise to all of us, certainly myself, because I've used it for a long time, and that's the ACF 50. I really was expecting this to either come top or in second place, but I've got it placed lowly right down here in 5th place out of the 8th. It basically just washed off quite quickly, and within I'd say within a month it was starting to go. And if you can look back at the early videos and see how it's progressed, but hand on heart, it's probably there are certainly 4 others that have performed better on this test, and that's all I can go by. I've been scrupulously fair and tried to make it as fair as possible, but from what I can see, the ACF 50 just hasn't lasted the course, and this is the rust you can see on a bare piece of steel after just 2 months down on the south coast. So ACF 50 is not going to be our winner today. Going on to the XCP Professionals, and the 2 of them did perform differently, and this is the one I've got coming in 4th. Now this is the Rust Blocker Clear Coat, and for those of you who haven't watched the early videos or are not too familiar with the product, they do 2 products. They do the Rust Blocker Clear Coat, which is a thinner product, and then the original orange canned Rust Blocker, which we'll come to in a moment. But coming in at 4th, I reckon the XCP Professional is better than the others we've already covered, but there are better products here today, so I think this is kind of a mid-range product. Not terrible, but you wouldn't want to just rely on this to leave on your bike and leave over winter and think that will cover it. Okay, so going up to the next tier, I think these two now are going from oils more to waxes. So they go on quite thinly still, but it is much more of a like a chain wax you'd use to lube your bike rather than an oil, and that's reflected in their performance, frankly. So in joint third, firstly I've got Muc-Off's HCB-1. This is a new one. I don't think many people have tested this one so far. It's a relatively new product, and that's done pretty well, I have to say. But after 2 months you can start to see there's a difference between this and the better two products. Or rather, should I say, the next one, the TechCote ACS TC200, I have to say that I've kind of placed that in the same position as the Muc-Off. It's very hard realistically to look at the two plates and see which is performing better. Both better than all the other ones we've already mentioned, but ultimately there's one here, one left now that is the best product by quite a way, and here it is. This is the XCP Professional. This is the Rust Blocker, so it's the orange one, so it's quite distinct from the Clear Coat, a completely different product. It goes on, when you first spray it on, you can see if you've used wax oil and similar sort of sprays like that from Halfords or wherever, you're kind of familiar with this, and this goes on like a thin version of wax oil, so it may take a fair bit of covering. It may take a fair bit to cover your bike because it's obviously a thicker product, but it is by far and away the one that's protected the steel way better than any of the other 7 products on test. So it's quite a clear-cut winner, and that's always nice to see in a way, because it makes you think that you're quite confident to say that this is the one I'd recommend. If you're going to reapply on a regular basis, then perhaps some lower down the list of performance, if you like, would be okay too, and especially when you start taking into price, that may be an option. I deliberately haven't put the prices on here. When I've looked, they're all over the place, and they seem to vary week by week, and who you go to and what's in stock and what have you. Certainly the Rust Blocker was more expensive, but it wasn't the most expensive of all on test that I found, and that was clearly the ACF 50, so I'm afraid that really doesn't get a recommendation now. So there it is. The XCP Professional Rust Blocker is the clear winner as far as I'm concerned. It seems to be a bit of a no-brainer. Anyhow, I said right back at the introduction that I'd be giving some of this away. What I've done, I'm going to be getting 10 cans of this, and between now and the 16th of December, I think I've penciled in. What I'll do is, if you're leaving a comment down below, say yes, I'd like one of those, then I'll include you, providing you're subscribed to the channel. So just put a comment in and say yes, I'm up for it, or I'd like a can of the XCP Professional please, and make sure you're subscribed still on December the 16th, and then I'll do a draw then, and we can give 10 people the opportunity to try this as well. You may find when you use it, it's not quite as good as I think, but I think you'll be more than pleased with the results. And I hope you feel that that's giving you guys who've stuck with me over so many months now a little bit back to the community, and hope that it works as well for you as it has done for me. Anyway, I've prattled enough. I know it's a bit dry, but I didn't know quite how else to make this more interesting, apart from saying this is a couple of months worth of work to get to this point. This is the one that I can heartily recommend. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below. A like, and particularly a subscribe if you want the chance of winning one of the XCP Professional cans would be great. And thanks all for sticking with it, and I'll see you very soon for the review of the Transalp. And also going to be doing a video of how it compares with the old NC750X. Is it a good upgrade? Usual stuff, you know how it goes. Brilliant guys, thanks a lot for watching as ever, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now. Ta-ra.